Now we want something to happen when we click one. And seems like it needs to be something kind of complicated. Don't panic. Break it down. Just make it do something when you click them first. So we need an on-click. Where should we put it? Where should we put the on-click? Who said that? You said main? So we need to put it on a particular thing in the... I mean, we're not really dealing with the DOM, but we need to put it on a particular line of our JSX, right on the thing that we're clicking. So what are we clicking? Well, it's the individual note, right? So it's this LI, really. Right? That's the thing that we're clicking to try to get it to load in the form. If we clicked anywhere on the whole, the clicking down here would count if we looked for the click on the div, right? So it's just on one of these LIs. So let's see what we can do. Should just be able to say on click camel cased equals some function. Let's see if we can just console log click. There it is. If we're really cool, maybe we could get it to like log the title of the one we clicked on. Props.note.title. Yeah, that works. So we got it to do something when we clicked. That's a step in the right direction. Now to load it into the dang form. That seems tricky. How the heck do we do that? What'd you do, William? Did anybody else do it, by the way? Anybody else get the clicking to work? All right. Ashwin?
Well, I didn't separate the note and the note list, so I just did everything in the note list. Basically, what you have in note, I have in note list instead of making a separate component.
Okay, they weren't separate components. But how'd you do this next part?
So in main, I have a function that I'm setting it as a prop, and I'm setting the value of whatever.
Okay, let's pause there for a moment. Did you catch that?
So basically, I'm sending it back to the parent.
So there's a function in main, and he's actually passing the function down as a prop and calling that function when you click. Because that function has to somehow, I don't know, what does it do? Like keep track of which one you clicked, or what does it do?
It just keeps track.
Keep track of which node it is? Is that what yours does?
Yeah, but like mine changes this set state. And I have a variable called active.
Okay, which holds the active note?
So when it gets the active parameter.
Okay, yeah. So somewhere in state on main, we need to keep track of which note is active, which note is loaded. And then we need to update that every time that we click. So let's see about that. Oops. So here's our initial state. There's our constructor. Let's add another method called setCurrentNote. And I suppose it will take a note as its argument. So our state right now just has this big fat array of notes. Let's add something else to state. Just current note. I'll camel case that, current note. And it'll start as null, I suppose. Or we could start as a blank note. Maybe that would be easier. We'll see. Okay, so current note, null. Set current note. Never mind how this gets called, but we can do that, right? This dot set state. Current note is note. But we need to call this from way down in note, right? Not from main. So how do we get it down there? We can pass a function as a prop just as well as anything else. So to get it down to note, we need to go through note list, right? So note list is currently being passed notes. We could also pass it the current note. Or excuse me, we can pass it that method. So the method's called set current note. So we'll have a prop called set current note, and its value will be what? Say again? This dot set current note, right? Yep. This dot set current note. No parentheses, right? We're not calling it. We're passing it.
Do we need to do dot bind this?
Yes. Or something. Yeah. Let's get it all the way down, then we'll work on solving that problem, okay? So this dot set excuse me, this dot set current note is being passed down to note list now. So props now has that. And then when I'm under note, I need to pass it again, right? So I'm going to go ahead and try to put this on another line so you can read it. So set current note equals what this time? Props dot set current note. Now, way down in note.js, my on click instead of console log could be what? Props.setCurrentNote. But I need to make sure I pass in the current note, right? So I'll go ahead and put an arrow function in there. I'll call props.setCurrentNote, and I will pass in, what's my note? Props.note. Right. Let's use our React Dev Tools. I'm going to search for main. There it is. State has current note null. Notes is an array with 3 items. I click. It explodes because this dot set state is not a function, because this is the wrong thing because we didn't bind it, right? So we could bind it when we pass it down. We could set current note to this.setCurrentNote.bind this. And that would make this the right thing. That's one way we could do this. Now we're going to learn another way. Arrow functions are our friends. We use arrow functions every opportunity we get because they just eliminate a lot of these hassles. So using that same very new JavaScript feature that lets us set state outside of a constructor, we can also write methods a different way, using an assignment, using an equal sign. So I could say set current note equals an arrow function. And as we know, arrow functions automatically bind this. So set current note equals arrow function. And I'm basically going to use this for all my methods other than render for the rest of the time. Does it really work? Look at our React Dev Tools. Let's search for main. There it is. Watch my state. Current node is null. Click this, and current node is now this. Click a different one. Current node updates. Right? Okay, that's a step in the right direction. We are updating state every time we click one of these with whatever the current node is. That's worth a little commit, I think. Set the current node when clicking a node.